Welcome to Crimson Guitars, welcome to BoB1. This is the second video in the series where I'm building an incredibly strange instrument, something that has never been built. Okay, in the comments, everybody's excited, everybody's trying to guess and figure out what the hell I'm actually going to do, and I am going to break the suspense right now. All right. A number of years ago, I was watching Fine Woodworking's YouTube channel, which is an excellent channel. I often say check out other builders, other craftspeople in different disciplines to the one that you are deciding to invest your time, and I do that. So check out Fine Woodworking. But there was a video on a cabinet maker, furniture maker, artist called Seth Rowland, and what he does is he takes a chunk of wood like this, predominantly ash I think, and he will make a series of cuts. So one cut from one side, one cut from the other side, etc. And he concertinas out the wood like this. So we have a piece of wood, starts at 3 centimeters or so, and it opens up into something insane, and you can do, watch it snap on me, and it's flexible as well. And the second I saw that, I thought, do you know what? Somebody needs to make a guitar like that. And like a split second later, I said, do you know what? That needs to be me. Well, there we go. So I've done this. I just randomly cut a few pieces into this. It would be so easy to make a flying V. As you can see, there we go, let's go against the t-shirt background. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go for something double cut-esque, which is gonna be difficult and interesting. I'm also not using the wood that I did the prototype in, just because, you know, I like a little bit of danger in my life. Anyway, so that is the plan. I am making the entire guitar out of this one piece of wood, and I am not, the main body at least is all going to be still connected if it works. If it doesn't work, if something snaps, then I can use the through neck that's in the middle and put wings on and go more traditional. And it's really, really possible that this is not going to work. I am flying by the seat of my pants right now. Same thing, we were talking about the headstock design, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the headstock. We're going to have a Parker-esque headstock there with some slits and cuts, and I'm going to fold out the wood to make something that looks like the size of the headstock. Now, what happens though is you need some way of holding it so it has its shape, because it does want to spring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take offcuts from the piece of timber alongside the neck, and I'm going to make fans from much smaller fans. So excited. And those are going to be inlaid into this front and back to give it stability and strength. It's going to be incredibly lightweight. It's going to be a lattice of just beauteous wonderfulness. I'm going to, we've got an excellent new lacquer that we've been playing with that I want to lacquer the neck with, but the rest of the instrument is probably just going to be oiled. And so fun. Anyway, there we go. So that's what I'm building. The prototype worked. It's flexible. This wood is less flexible. We'll see what happens. Now, okay, back to the build. Now, this build you can follow along. I am now going to do the neck. I'm going to start out by routing the truss rod. So there we go. No, I'm going to start out by tidying my workbench, because there's too much stuff on here, of course. Okay, set the depth stop. Now, The truss rod is about 9 mil. Deep. And we're good. So you are there. That will now go down over that and stop at 9 mil. So the trick when routing is to take small passes where possible. I've got a 1/4 inch cutter to match the truss rod. And before I do this, I'm just going to triple check my location. Yep, we're fine. Yeah, I'm just going to go very carefully, small increments, lock it off, and we're good. Where's my... I don't have an extractor setup for this on here, which is naughty actually, but I do have an air filter going, so yeah, I'm not doing too much dusty work. Slightly naughty. Air filter. All right. This feels backwards to me because it's backwards. No, always be comfortable. I'm going off this edge of the board just because, well, that's the one I marked off to, but it just feels weird to have the router around that way. This, however, this feels right. Okay, I'm just double checking. Okay, so I'm just checking the center line is fine. But let's make some noise. Let's not make some noise. Let's make some noise. Okay. Spot on. Truss rods are a little bit wider at the end, so I'm going to custom cut that with a chisel. Now, one other thing that occurred to me, if you are not 100% au fait with a router, you could quite happily set up a depth stop so that when your cutter gets to the end of the truss rod channel like so, just have a piece of wood spot glued or clamped or screwed to the blank so that you literally cannot go further along than you want to. I was just eyeballing my pencil lines. You don't need to wing it like that. What am I doing? What am I doing? Putting a truss rod in and a router away. I just need to make that a little bit wider. Blunt. Okay. A woodworking project is a long process that can be incredibly rewarding. Sharpening a chisel can be just as rewarding in a fraction of the time. Back to work. Anyway, come on then. Using my thumb to support the chisel, go in, and I'm just taking a small section out, both edges. All that work for just that little task. There we go. Truss rod. I don't like getting glue in my truss rod channels, so I cover it up with a little bit of masking tape. I also roll up small sections of masking tape to put, I do this 3 times actually, sticky side out, and I put that on top of the truss rod where there is any gap. So one in the middle and one at either end, and that means that when your truss rod is loose, we're using dual action truss rods, when your truss rod is loose, i.e. not pulling either way, it wants to rattle in the cavity, and that is insanely annoying. Well now, truss rod's in, masking tape is on. That does cause a slight lift in the middle of the fretboard when you're gluing it, but it does not affect glue. I've been doing this for the last 200 or so guitars that I've built, and it works perfectly fine. Headstock break angle. Now, as I said yesterday, or in the last video at the very least, is that I'm just going to do it based on the amount of material I have left. So it's really quite simple. Yeah. Take your nut line where the break starts. Break your pencil lead. And essentially my line starts there, my nut ends there, my headstock ends about here. We want, bam, there we go. Let's cut it 16 mil thick. We're going to end up 14, 15, I suppose. And that is my headstock break angle, whatever that angle happens to be. It's really, it does make a difference to the sound, but not, it's not the most important thing. Oh, come on. Okay, so let's find out what we've got. Yeah, we're about 8 or 9 degrees. Yeah. My bandsaw over there is not quite the most beastful, so we're going downstairs. Now this is where you need a hand plane or two. Luckily, I do. I've got a little ledge here where the bandsaw blade stopped. Get rid of that like this. And then plane as normal. So I've planed down to the outer nut line. So that is square and nice. And then you use a straight edge just to make sure that everything else is as required. square with the nut line. All good. Thank you very much for watching. This is the end of the episode. In the next one, I am going to prepare the fretboard, glue it down to the body, neck, through neck. After cutting out, roughing out the headstock, roughing out the, in fact, finalizing the actual outer dimensions of the neck. I considered gluing the fretboard to the neck blank and then cutting through, but that way doesn't lead to necessarily the best joints. So I'm going to, in the next video, size the neck down, width-wise at the very least, glue the fretboard on, rough out where I'm going to leave material for this awesome bending cut process. And the process of roughing all of that out is going to give me some extra material. With some of that material, I'm going to test to see whether I can actually bend this wood, because I have done a test, and the test was in sycamore, and I think there was another one in ash. I actually don't know if this is going to work. Of course it's going to work. At the very least, even if it's not as bendy as sycamore, etc., hello, which it won't be because this is a little bit more extreme, I will be able to do this using water and heat. So essentially I'll be steaming it rather than just flexing it by sheer muscle power. But look, I'm really enjoying this build. I hope you are too. Please keep on commenting below. Let me know what you think and where you think I should go with it. And if you think I'm going to be able to do it, subscribe. This is a series. If you're subscribed, you're going to get the notifications as they come out rather than having to type. And, you know, I really appreciate your support. A huge number of people watch my videos who aren't subscribed, and it's, I don't understand. But yeah, let me know what you think below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Oh, don't forget you can win this guitar. It could be yours. We are giving it away. Anybody who purchases anything through our site, crimsonguitars.com, at this particular juncture, as these videos are going live, basically up until Black Friday weekend, you're entered into a competition to win the guitar. There we go, done. Watch the next video, enough talking. Cheerio.